Good morning, friends, and welcome to Take Two for this Monday, June the 18th, 2018. I hope that you are gearing up for a really great week. I know that my weekend was extremely busy, and now as we get ready to embark on an even busier week ahead, I hope and pray that you are ready to tackle it. Well, today I'd like to talk to you about when you have nothing to say. I know that sounds like a really crazy title, but let me explain, okay? There are times where you've said all you could say about a subject, and you have nothing more to say about it. Like, for example, say there's some kind of big headline in the news, a disaster happened, or some big event like the royal wedding, or some horrible thing like an explosion of a big building where people were killed, or a terrorist attack, or some other big news, maybe a famous person passed away, or a famous person had a baby, or like when that lady gave birth to 8 children at once, things like that, and everybody's buzzing and talking about it, and then you're just talked out. You have nothing to say about it anymore, so you're done. I got nothing to say. But unfortunately, there are those that even though the subject is finished and there really should be nothing more said about it, they carry on talking about it because they think that's the right thing to do. Another thing that happens sometimes is that people think that they need to say something when no words need to be said at all. I'll give you an example. Yesterday was Father's Day. Now, Father's Day is a very tender and touchy subject in a lot of families. As dysfunction rises in families and more children are born in a non-conventional setting, quite often where a father figure is missing from it, that is not necessarily the best and happiest day. So there are those who struggle, single mothers who maybe had a husband pass away, or maybe somebody they at a young age they lost their dad, or the dad's been absent from the get-go, or anything like that. And others just feel like they need to say something to the person who is going through this struggle. So they'll say, oh, well, that's okay. You have a lot of other people in your life who are like fathers. That's not the right thing to say. Or you might say, like, somebody just lost their father. Maybe they just passed away. Oh, that's okay, because your father is looking down from heaven on you and smiling. Well, okay, that's a nice thought, and it's lovely, and I do believe that people go to heaven and they do look down and smile. I believe that's true. However, that may not be necessarily the right thing to say to somebody when they're going through a struggle. Do you know the best way that you could say something a lot of times is without saying a word? I believe it was St. Francis who said, show love and use, say I love you. That's what it was. Say I love you and use words if necessary. So you don't necessarily have to say words. Sometimes having nothing to say is the best thing to say. Okay? So just bear that in mind today when you're talking to people. Don't talk for the word just for the sake of having words come out of your mouth. Sometimes saying nothing is the best way to go. And if a subject is completely talked out, don't talk about it anymore. Now, I'm not saying that if important issues need to be discussed that you should push it under the carpet. I'm bringing balance here. Now, listen carefully, boys and girls. I'm not saying that if there's an important, tender thing that needs to be discussed or something that has to be decided, just go ahead and ignore it and push it under the carpet and we'll talk about it later. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is don't just talk for the sake of talking, and please watch your words, that you don't say something stupid to somebody just because you feel like you're supposed to say something to them. If you have a friend who has lost a loved one in recent days, every time you see them, you don't have to say, oh, I'm so sorry you lost a loved one. You don't have to say it every time. Sometimes the best way you could say it is just by hugging them or telling them you love them. And that is going to be where having nothing to say goes much, much further than having something to say. Okay? So, be a blessing to somebody today. Use words if necessary. If not, don't. You may be the only one who is. Maybe a hug is the way that you're going to do it. Or maybe a smile is the way you're going to do it. Or maybe a good deed or just doing something kind is the way to do it without words, okay? And please, go to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeanne Sigler. Here's a way that you could do something without words. Just click that subscribe button. I'd really like to see my subscriber numbers go up. They haven't been moving lately. Please subscribe, and you can watch past Take Twos. And also, you can listen to my radio station, Ram FM, WRMZ.org. Click that listen button. And another way you could do things without words is by making a donation to us as well. Well, I love you all very much. Have a great week, everybody. And again, remember, don't say it unless it's absolutely, positively necessary. Meanwhile, just go be kind to somebody. And as I said, you could do it probably silently. I love you. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.